And welcome to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He is the CEO of Financial Sources Incorporated. Freeman, how are you today?
I'm just fine. It's glad to be here today with another great show with
too.
you helping me. So it's just a wonderful time, and the opportunity to work with you and have me here to answer some of the retirement questions that our viewers they want answers.
Sure.
And now I'm getting so many of them, they say, well, just ask Freeman.
Yep, I love that. You have a question? Well, just ask Freeman.
We'll just ask Freeman. That's it.
And it's so important because before you started doing the shows, Freeman, obviously people didn't know where to go to get information about planning for retirement. They had a lot of questions, but they just didn't know where to find the answers. So what I love so much about the vehicle of the show right now is that you're really delivering information. People, they need to know. They need to have that plan, because a lot of people, especially when we went through the global pandemic, went through a lot of just challenges, if you will. Some people lost money. They lost, their job. They were forced to retire early. So you've been a wealth of knowledge for people just by asking Freeman, truly.
Exactly. And what's interesting is, Cynthia, is that many of the folks, well-educated, but never had the privy of retirement planning, estate planning, income planning. Great degrees, bachelor's, master's, even PhDs. I'm running. Well, Freeman, I didn't learn that. This was not provided. This information was not provided to me. And when I saw your show, Just Ask Freeman, well, we're going to segue right into estimating retirement income needs. There's 6 factors in which I relate to people and to let them know how important it is to plan for retirement income.
Sure, absolutely.
So here's the question. Where do we begin?
Right? Because there's a lot to tackle.
That's it. Where do we begin? Well, folks, you can just ask Freeman. Here's the first place. Use your current income as a starting point. You've been working, and you know the type of lifestyle and quality of life that has been produced by your job.
Sure.
What do you expect when you separate from service or retire?
Yeah.
Where you may need 60, 70% of your current income during your retirement, or if you travel a lot, you might need 100%. So the best thing to do, number one, is look at your current income as a starting point. Okay. And is not easy now, but it's simple. Alrighty.
Okay.
But the thing is, we don't have to worry about payroll taxes anymore. Okay. We won't have to worry about certain expenditures when we retire, because those expenditures will go away and could be replaced with unexpected expenditures, increased costs for health care.
Okay.
Critical care or long-term care. Alrighty. You might not be paying those payroll taxes, but the problem is with that approach is that we have to prepare and project our retirement expenses. Now, food and clothing. Transportation.
Sure.
Utilities. Gas, electric, water, telephone, cable TV. These little things here.
They add up.
They add up. Insurances, medical, dental. Again, I mentioned long-term care or critical care because we're living longer. Other expenses, federal and state income tax.
That's a big
maybe
one.
capital gains taxes. We also have to look at the fact that the cost of living. That's steadily as inflation. Okay. So, and the annual rate of inflation has been what over the last 20 years? About 2.5% to 3%. Well, it remained that way. We just don't know. We may be able to pay the mortgage off. So there's a lot of things. Last show you asked me, will the husband and wife be when you help them, Freeman, over the past year and a half, in the virtual world, husband and wife was there. We got to look at the fact that if one of the spouses retire, okay, now one of the spouses is bringing in a full-time income, maybe a six-figure income. Okay, and it's dropped down now significantly, maybe 60%, if they are lucky to have a pension. But suppose there is no pension. So what do we have to do, Cynthia? We've got to just ask Freeman for one thing, and to sit down and get into the details, the real nitty-gritty of the expenditures.
Sure.
And what you expect on your retirement journey once you leave that job, okay? And you have to decide when to retire. Now, let's answer a couple of questions that the folks have just called in. They said, just ask Freeman, we getting ready to come out now.
Yep, absolutely.
I want to make sure that we don't make any mistakes when estimating the retirement income needs.
Absolutely. It's so important because I think that obviously a lot of times too, Freeman, when someone is sitting with you and they give you an idea of what their income needs are, it changes. It can change because a lot of people had like adult children moving back home, and then all of a sudden things were different for them for their budget purposes. So you're able to really take a look at each individual person's situation, and it's kind of a living, breathing organism, if you will. You're able to design something that then can be tweaked as well.
Exactly. I even take in consideration of aging parents.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be contributing to the well-being financially as well as emotionally for the aging parents? Dependent kids, just like you mentioned here.
Yeah.
Child could get ready to come out, go out there in the real world. See, that rent is a little high.
Yeah.
Come on
like,
back
oops,
home.
kind of mistake.
I need to stay here a little bit longer.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, and suppose you're retired.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've often asked the question, now that you're retired, do you have adult children? They say, yes. I ask, are they independent? Or I should say dependent, codependent, or independent? And then husband and wife, they tell me about their children. And you don't want to be, if you're a retiree, you don't want to be a burden on your children. Okay. You want to be independent and keep your independence. I've seen so many folks that I've helped over the years, 40-some years almost 40 years that I've been in the business here. A lot of the clients want that independence because a lot of them are healthy.
Sure.
They have, and they're doing things, travel. They're involved in their missions spiritually.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of different things, and they are healthy people.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be a burden on their children or grandchildren. And you could see the independence. Well, I'm doing this. I'm flying to Phoenix.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I'm doing this today, but. One of the things I must mention is I want our viewing audience to call 833-414-7233. We're going to identify your sources of retirement income, a complete plan.
Okay.
Complimentary consultation. I remember I told you in the last show I want you to go to ssa.gov, download, print out your Social Security statement. We're going to review that so we can provide a report so you know when to file, how to maximize your Social Security benefits. Then what we're going to bring over, Cynthia, we're going to look at the income-producing assets, measure risk. All right, you want to minimize risk as you age. You don't want the ups and downs and volatility and uncertainty. So we do that. So you want a written report on how your funds will last. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233 and get a comprehensive written report and narrative on how to identify your sources of retirement income, how to maximize your Social Security benefits. Yeah. All right. how to avoid costly mistakes during retirement. And also, I'll have that text for you.
Perfect.
That's right. The 10 IRA mistakes and how to avoid the tax traps that are associated with. Good read.
Absolutely.
I tell you, again, get your top 10 IRA mistakes and how to avoid the tax traps. Like you will have a complimentary virtual world. We'll sit down and talk about your particular retirement, identify your sources of retirement, and if we have to make up any retirement income shortfall, we're going to talk about that as we move into more the tax efficient way to take a distribution.
Freeman, this is the perfect time for us to open up the phone lines and let the viewers at home have the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better by booking that consultation. To the viewers at home, the phone number to call is on your screen. That number is 833-414-7233. If you have questions about how to retire comfortably with confidence, Freeman has the answers for you. All you have to do is just ask Freeman. We have to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We're going to have so much more when we return.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He is the CEO of Financial Sources Incorporated. Freeman, a wonderful show that we're having today.
You know what? We took that break.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were going to get a flood of questions. I see, you know, it's like that prompter said,
I love that.
And look at all those questions that came in. We just took a short break.
I know. But what's great is you said, just ask Freeman, and people want to take advantage of that.
Exactly.
They want to ask you. So do you mind if I just throw a couple at you, Freeman?
Sure, let's do this.
It says, Freeman, I'm curious, when can I take a distribution from the Thrift Savings Plan TSP or 401k?
All right. You can take a distribution any time, but what we want to do is avoid a costly mistake.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of some folks who dipped into their TSP
Okay.
and purchased a depreciating object. And you know what that object was? An automobile.
I was going to say a car.
All right.
I was wondering.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
whether at 59 and a half, you eliminate that 10% penalty. However, employer-sponsored retirement accounts, most of them, all of them, usually take 20% withholding. But what if you're under 59 and a half? That's an additional 10%. And suppose you dip into your TSP and buy an $80,000 automobile. Well, if you do that, that's a $24,000 penalty for you, 10% withholding.
Okay.
Under 59 and a half, excuse me. 20%, a natural thing for funds coming out of an employer-sponsored retirement account. That's 30% total. Well, that's a big mistake to come up with $24,000 in taxes or withholding when you take money from the TSP. Now, you can be more tax efficient by doing a direct rollover, which is a non-taxable event, to your own IRA.
Okay.
All righty. Something else, too, about the employer-sponsored retirement account. Let me tell you the distribution factors that are available to you. Well, you can borrow money up to $50,000.
Okay.
First-time home buyer, $10,000. All righty. The hardship usually comes in at up to $50K to borrow, but you can also, for education, take out $10,000, and you're trying to minimize those penalties that can occur when you take a distribution from the employer-sponsored retirement account. And folks make mistakes. Number one, once it's separated from service, you cannot make a contribution back into the employer. Notice I emphasize that.
Yes.
That's the employer-sponsored retirement account.
Wow. Okay.
TSP, 401K, 403B, etc. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Wow. When you think about it, Freeman, people have so many different types of questions, and I think it's just amazing because they're coming from all over. This is a really good, too. It says, Freeman, I have a question. Would it be better to start getting benefits early with a smaller monthly amount over a shorter time frame?
That's a good question. You know, receiving your Social Security benefits is very, very complicated.
Okay.
There is what we call a break point. That's why I want folks to notify me, justaskfreeman.com, so that we can do an efficient plan of when to file for your Social Security benefits, all righty, and minimize the mistakes. You've seen and heard me say on other shows, Cynthia, when they say the relatives of friends, man, you got to get your Social Security.
Sure.
And then the participant says, well, I'm only 61. Get it now at 62. Yeah, they can. All righty. But sometimes that participant, I use that word, does not want to take their Social Security benefit at 62. That's one of the eligibility ages. All right. The other, if you're born after 1960 now, the second is age 67, and then finally age 70.
Okay.
So they got to just ask Freeman.com because we do an efficient, tax efficient way on how to get that Social Security benefit, how to bring in income producing assets to generate lifetime income, and avoiding mistakes. That's key when it comes to Social Security. But a lot of folks have realized that, or some have taken their Social Security benefit at 62.
Okay.
A year later, they realize, like, wow, no one told me that I'm born after 1960, and my Social Security benefit is 30% less than what I would get at 67. That's huge.
That is.
Over the
Big
life
difference.
expectancy.
Yeah.
So, folks, is important. Just ask Freeman. What you'll get is we'd like to offer you a complimentary consultation. All righty. So that you'll know when to file for your Social Security. We'll do a Social Security report, a tax-efficient way to take a distribution from your retirement plans. And I want you to get my text, my book, The 10 IRA Mistakes and the Tax Traps that are associated with the IRA. There's some information in there that you need to know. Just ask free. Call us at 833-414-7233.
Well, Freeman, this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Would you
All right,
agree?
here we go again.
Okay, to the viewers at home, the phone lines are once again now open. That number to call is 833-414-7233. We know you have a lot of questions about planning your retirement, perhaps questions about Social Security. What is the right age to start gleaning those benefits? Freeman can help you with that. All you have to do is remember, just ask Freeman. Again, the number to call is 833-414-7233. We have to take a very short commercial break, but we'll be right back momentarily. So please stay tuned.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, Are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place, then help determine if you are well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you are getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
And welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He is the CEO of Financial Sources, Inc. Freeman, a great show that we're having today.
Yes,
and
we are.
I love having all of the viewer questions come in because they're so diversified. They're so interesting. Like they're coming from all different directions. This is a great question. Freeman, I have a question for you. I am 10 years away from retirement. What should I be doing today? 10 years
wow,
away.
10 years. Planning for that 10 years. Eliminating debt along the way.
Okay.
Okay, that's some folks say, well, do I get rid of credit card debt or do I get rid of school loans? Try to get rid of or pay off as many of the items that you have you're in debt with. School loans, credit card debt, you got 10 years.
Okay.
All right. Now, we have to measure that 10 years. Suppose you're 45. See, 10 years you want to come out, 55. What are the sources of income will you have or have built to retire at 55 or to be retired at 60? Or even retire at 65 or 70. We have to look at a lot of different factors. Just like we talked about paying off various debt, making sure that we have enough monies for different comforts. All right? We discussed that. So if you're coming out in 10 years, you want an advisor to go along with you, to be with you along that 10-year path, that decade.
Absolutely.
That's why I have annual reviews. Sometimes when the clients need a little dress rehearsal, 2 or 3 years coming out of or departing from their employer, all right, leaving that job and going into retirement. Well, they still, a lot of them, some of them keep in touch with me, all right, and they'll say, well, Freeman, I'll be 59 and a half in 2 years. That 2 years comes.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Blink of an eye.
It does. I've seen it happen where it was able to help the client with a tax-efficient way to take a distribution from a retirement plan, knowing how to utilize their resources in an efficient way to reduce their debt in their planning for separating from service. So you want to know, folks, just askfreeman.com to help you plan for your retirement. And again, I use this phrase to give you peace of mind, knowing that your assets are safe and generate guaranteed income. Cynthia,
Absolutely.
you cannot outlive.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to estimating our retirement income needs. And I was noticing that, wow, it looked like we had it was just like all of a sudden all these calls came in.
Oh, I know. I know. It's incredible.
It is.
This is a great question for you, Freeman. Speaking of questions, this one came in from a viewer. It says, do I pay taxes on my Social Security benefits?
Another good question. Well, we get into the great questions.
I know.
Just ask Freeman. I'm glad you are. And I want you to get your complimentary consultation, your tax-efficient written plan on distribution. Well, let me answer this question specifically. Yes, you pay taxes on your Social Security. Now, depending on your jurisdiction, I know in the Washington metropolitan area, you pay no state taxes on your benefit from Social Security.
Okay.
But you pay federal taxes. Matter of fact, this will be the second round for federal taxes. Now, for your quarters, for your Social Security, you paid Medicare, and Social Security tax. Then when you receive your Social Security benefit, are you ready for this, Cindy? You pay taxes again.
Wow.
So you'll be paying at the federal level. It depends on your jurisdiction. Whereas, as I mentioned, in the metropolitan area, Washington metropolitan area, you pay no state tax in, say, Maryland.
Okay.
So, yes, you'll pay some taxes, but the thing is, there's ways where we can minimize the tax bite on your Social Security. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have another question, Freeman, that relates to Social Security. It says, can I still work and apply for my Social Security benefits?
Sure can. But you better watch out. Just ask Freeman now. If you are under the age of the full retirement age, 66, 67, all right? From age 62 up to that point, 66, I say 65, the maximum that you can earn, okay, we got the new figures in, is about $18,000, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, for every $2 you earn on the job, if you exceed that cap, your Social Security benefit is reduced by $1. But here's the kicker, Cynthia. Suppose, I know that in the year you work, in the year you turn full retirement age, 66 or 67, you have to be careful because there's a cap on how much you can earn. And it's approximately $50K, which is for every $3 earned, your benefit can be reduced by $1. Just ask Freeman. You need a tax-efficient way to get the distribution from your 401ks, your IRS, and your Social Security. And, we're just, that clock on the wall always looks at that.
I know. We have about a minute left. I can't believe how fast the show goes,
Time goes.
Freeman.
Yes, it does. So always put it in your hands. What do you want to ask? Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233 to get your efficient tax plan and your Social Security report.
Absolutely, and it's so very important, Freeman, again, because it's so amazing the information that you're providing to the viewing audience. It's being so well received, and you can tell simply because the amount of questions that come in, people are really paying attention, and they appreciate what you're doing for them, and they're all remembering one thing. Just ask Freeman.
Just ask Freeman.
To the viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us again this week. That number to call is 833-414-7233. Again, Freeman loves all of your questions, so please keep them coming. We know you have questions about retirement and how to retire comfortably. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we'll see you again 1 week from today.